How knowledge management tools restrict public sector innovation. Intranets versus wikis. By Mark Salmon and Steve Walker. In today's society, innovation is the key determinant of an organization's success or failure. In order for information organizations, particularly within the public sector, to remain relevant to their customers, they must follow the fundamental rule of business. That is to supply what is demanded by their market. As public sector organizations, federal, state, and local government continue to redefine their role in the digital environment. There is a need to leverage their strengths and innovate to create responsive and convenient services to taxpayers. However, approaches to innovation vary across government departments, and their outcomes vary, creating continual pressure from the public to increase efficiencies and quality with fewer resources and less expenses. For public sector organizations, innovation may denote the generation or adoption of novel ideas or behaviors. Innovation can be a new product or service, a new production process, a new structure, a new administrative system, or a new plan implemented to achieve a higher goal, such as a competitive advantage or cost-effective process. Whatever the product or service, innovation is extremely dependent on the amount of knowledge available to a department. The main activity of public sector organizations is to develop and provide knowledge. Knowledge is provided to the public either as a product or service in various mediums. Public sector organizations also rely on knowledge being provided internally by knowledge experts or consultants from the private sector. So what is knowledge? Knowledge is a mix of fluid, framed experiences, valued and contextual information, and expert insights that provide a framework for evaluating and incorporating new experiences and information. Knowledge is generally seen as one of the most, if not the most, important asset in public sector organizations that should be carefully managed. The efficient management of knowledge is often referred to as knowledge management. Knowledge management is both A, the process of creating, acquiring, and transforming knowledge, and B, the change of organizational behavior to reflect new knowledge and insights. Research has found a significant and positive links between knowledge management and innovation. Therefore, the proper management of knowledge is important for innovation to exist. In recent years, knowledge sharing has been identified as a major focus area for knowledge management. Knowledge sharing is an aspect of knowledge management that requires the dissemination of an employee's tacit knowledge between and among individuals. This includes subsystems and organizations. Knowledge sharing is not just about sharing one's knowledge, but also about one's capability to learn new or shared knowledge. If public sector organizations are unable to effectively share their knowledge, they are not capable of providing innovative services internally and to the public. So there are two elements that are essential that must exist within any public sector organization for knowledge sharing. That is mutual trust and mutual influence. These two critical elements are essential for establishing a knowledge sharing environment that can often lead to improved performance and innovation. A precondition of trust and influence is communication. So through communication, knowledge can be shared either tacitly or explicitly, depending on the activity and medium. Knowledge sharing activities create opportunities for public sector organizations to maximize their innovativeness in meeting the ever-changing needs of government departments, private organizations, and the public. Recently, the most prominent medium for promoting and facilitating knowledge sharing throughout the public sector organization is an intranet. Intranets are a collection of private and internal computer networks within an organization. An intranet uses network technologies as a tool to facilitate communication throughout an organization to improve the data sharing capability and the overall knowledge base of an organization. The intranet is a knowledge management tool that can boost productivity and help make good decisions by allowing access to both structured and unstructured information. Intranets contain a lot of information. However, the available information can become outdated extremely quickly. This is a common problem, as most intranets follow the same model. That is, the content is produced by a very small number of employees assigned to create, update, and maintain the content on that intranet. Generally, the publishing process is much too complicated and has to be done by selected and trusted employees within the organization. This is commonly known as the one administrative syndrome, where making changes are so complicated or restricted that changes are often avoided. One problem with this model is that information becomes outdated extremely quickly, partially because employees do not participate in creating or sharing knowledge that is to be published. The other big issue with this model is it restricts every single employee from sharing his or her knowledge and their know-how within that organization unless it goes through a gatekeeper. Content goes through the gatekeeper and is at risk of losing its definition and context through misinterpretation or not following the rules. This is not how a knowledge management system should work. So what is a knowledge management system? The intention of a knowledge management system is to enable the formation, communication, and utilization of knowledge. Inefficient communication and management of know-how slows down productivity and innovation. The result of this leads to a loss of critical knowledge and inefficiencies, which waste taxpayer dollars. It is crucial that public sector organizations that were once satisfied with their simple intranets as a means to communicate and disseminate knowledge to employees seek out these new technologies that foster the intent of knowledge management. A knowledge management tool requires that employees learn to appreciate tacit and often unproven subjective as well as objective knowledge. This is the most important aspect of a knowledge management system. That is, it must objectify subjective knowledge. Even if business processes were to change to allow more users to share knowledge through an intranet, there are still limitations primarily due to its inflexibility to create collective influence over knowledge. However, this can be overcome with the help of wikis. So what is a wiki? Wikis are a website which allow people to collaboratively write and edit online content or documents, exemplifying open editing. Wikis are not economically or technologically demanding and are quick to create knowledge and are well suited for decentralized environments common in the public sector. Wikis allow professional, systematic, and uncomplicated knowledge management. Public sector employees are able to communicate actively and efficiently regarding the line of work, the topic of the day, or share general know-how knowledge beneficial to the organization. With a wiki, the entire know-how of a company can be mapped, actively used, and organically expanded. A wiki closes functional loopholes in an intranet and removes the departmental silo barriers through enabling cross-boundary knowledge sharing. The most famous wiki is Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a public wiki. All of its contents are available for everyone to peruse. In contrast, the content in corporate wikis can be internally similar to an intranet. Wikipedia only fulfills the basic task of being an online encyclopedia. A corporate wiki is flexible and is used for many different activities, including the compiling of documentation, creating and maintaining of knowledge pools, project managing, meeting and event organizing, and so on. Wikipedia versus the corporate wiki. Wikipedia is a wiki, but a corporate wiki is not Wikipedia. Rather, it is a flexible instrument for communication and collaboration that yields far more. A corporate wiki is able to take over the role of an intranet while still maintaining similar functions. The difference is in ownership and authorship. Adding content to a wiki requires no technical expertise whatsoever, making it possible for anyone within the organization to create or edit a page. The open editing capability of wikis raises concerns about misuse, abuse, and reliability of the information. Obviously, the potential of such a feature scares off many public and private companies. Wikis work best in organizational cultures in which there is a high level of trust. Again, trust is an antecedent for knowledge sharing to occur within an organization, and knowledge sharing is a critical element for improving inefficiencies and innovation within the public sector. Therefore, the culture within an organization must adapt and evolve into a culture that supports knowledge sharing, leading to more effective knowledge management and wiki use. Organizations that are still skeptical of such new technology should learn from others. Whilst only fairly new, wikis have been implemented within many large successful organizations worldwide. Companies such as Yahoo, Disney, SAP, Singular Wireless, IBM, Cisco, Motorola, Microsoft, and Google. These companies are some of the biggest and most influential innovators to date, and rely on these internal wikis to share knowledge and build on each other's ideas. One company that has seen the most value in a wiki is Google. Google is one of the world's largest organizations made famous for their online search engine. Google does not have a conventional intranet. Instead, they use a corporate wiki for their 5,000 plus employees to collaborate and share knowledge. All employees are pushed to share freely and to learn from each other. So Google's fundamental belief is that no team is to be siloed or isolated, and open communication is the rule. One of the main constraints of knowledge sharing is the loss of people power face. In order to avoid this constraint, Google decided to promote one's ability to collaborate with others. Performance management across the entire company is open and transparent, meaning the amount of sharing provided by staff is tracked and visible to all. An added benefit of this transparency was the ability to see who provided that knowledge and what knowledge. This enabled fellow employees to follow up on many more and much more information if they felt the need to do so. The common motivation to introduce such knowledge management technologies is that they empower employees by providing tools to support and boost his or her knowledge sharing skills. However, the introduction of these systems does not result in significant improvements in knowledge sharing. It is estimated that around 20% of knowledge sharing is inhibited by the information and technology components. The rest, 80%, are cultural and management issues, which seem to dominate. So how do we get around the culture and management issues? As proven by Google and many other companies that use wikis, the only way to encourage knowledge sharing is through a culture that rewards employees for sharing knowledge, but for also innovation and learning. Learning from a shared knowledge has benefits in itself. Learning can cause new insights to grow and provide further innovation on innovative products and services. Management must realize the benefits and value of knowledge sharing, which can provide big benefits to the organization. Only after management understands this are they able to influence and change the current culture. If there is no management support, then wikis would not survive, and neither would the organization. Management must practice what they preach in order to change the culture to one that freely shares knowledge without any barriers. So why should public sector organizations adopt wikis and move away from their intranets? To reduce the number of internal emails. So managing documents and email attachments is very time consuming. Valuable resources are consumed by the constant search for and distribution of emails. Wikis are a much more efficient means of communication, as well as a central knowledge to which every employee has unhindered access. There's also the organic content. Wikis allow for content to be added and then be continually updated and refined. This allows for content to organically grow through the creative inputs of employees. The function of this is highly useful for document creation, knowledge dumping, and general internal communication that is available for all to contribute. Wikis also have high-performance tools. So, wikis having access to an array of high-performance tools for the efficient organization of complex content. Some examples are internal linking, external linking, the hierarchical structuring of documents, the exporting of text, the embedding of graphic elements and tables, which can all be undertaken without any special previous knowledge. There's flexibility. Wikis are more flexible than intranets and static pages, whose contents have to be brought up to date in a technically challenging way, as discussed earlier. In a wiki, employees don't have to work at the same time, or even the same space. Employees can work independently of each other on the same content, and the changes are available immediately online in that wiki. There's the usability of wikis. So wikis are easy to use. Employees can easily edit, create, and format entries without having any knowledge of HTML. As mentioned earlier, transparency was how Google motivated its employees to share their knowledge. Transparency of one's sharing motivates employees to contribute to the growth and the life of a wiki. There's also the security and protection. So wikis are tolerant of mistakes. If an employee completely misses the target and makes a mistake, chances are it can be easily reversed and the wiki can be reverted back to an earlier version. The functional handling of wikis also include the allocation of access authorizations for certain areas, which enables content to be protected, should it not be for a certain group of employees. Therefore, the view into the wiki may also be controlled. Wikis are undemanding regarding their system requirements. They require neither a certain operating system nor high processing resources. They are reachable from even older internet-capable PCs and computers, and can be edited using every normal browser, such as Internet Explorer or Firefox. This makes implementation easy and cost-effective, and removes the need for expensive licenses and hardware upgrades. There's also the cost savings. So in comparison to many traditional tools and processes, learning how to interact with the wikis requires minimal time, test phases, employee training, as well as complex configurations that disturb productivity and come out as most superfluous. Wikis are extremely cost effective and can save an organization a lot of money. So in conclusion, innovation is the key determinant of an organization's success or failure. Public sector organizations attempting to find innovation in order to create a responsive and convenient services must address the barriers associated with knowledge management. In this presentation, we have identified one of the major barriers in knowledge management, that being an organization's intranet. Public sector organizations are able to implement knowledge pools within current intranets, but only through the use of a wiki can employees be connected to the flow of knowledge and information. In principle, an intranet can do anything you want it to, but a wiki can do it much more flexibly, better, and with far greater employee participation.